Path of Exile. What is it, and why is now one of the best times to start playing? Let's start very simply. Path of Exile, or PoE, is an action RPG. So, an action role-playing game. You'll create a character, and you'll face progressively more difficult and challenging enemies and bosses while getting better and better gear and improving your character with this great sense of progression and lots of different content to play through and different things to try. This game is very deep and sometimes to its detriment known for being very, very deep. And I'll get into that a bit later. But now is a great time to play. This game is on a patch cycle. Every 6 weeks, they get a major content update with new bosses, which is what's playing in the background, new skills, and different challenges and things to do and to aim to do, really. And this most recent update has not only shortened a lot of the grind and optimized a lot of different ways to play the game, it's let you do more of what you enjoy sooner for better rewards. So you can focus on playing the way you like with the character you like and getting more of what you'll enjoy and more items that you'll like as you're kind of sitting here. They have done a great job of balancing this one, I feel, and a lot of the people are feeling, and letting you kind of optimize things mostly just for not only great loot and rewards, but for fun. They've done a really good job, and I'm really impressed. And a lot of people didn't see this coming. A lot of most experienced players with tens of thousands of hours didn't see this coming. They did a really, really excellent job. And the league, at the time I'd be recording this, is still fresh. So you have a lot of people playing. Maybe you can get some friends involved, and you can dive into what is, yes, an incredibly deep game, but I want to give you a couple tips to simplify it. So, the game has been updated. You can do a lot more of what you enjoy and with a character you enjoy. The reason a lot of people, and maybe you listening, haven't tried this game, or, you know, as I've talked to some people, are uncertain if you'll have time to dive into this bad boy, is it has been being updated for the better part of a decade. There's a lot of content to play here. And so that may sound like there's too much that you'll really not get a lot out of it. And let me just kind of address these concerns. I'm making a brand new character here live. And this is going to look very confusing. It's 3 seconds from starting the game. And look at this. Whoa. I'll put a couple reactions up here of different people playing.
What the that? Holy
It's a lot. It looks very confusing and you may be about to click off the video. Just wait a second, I promise. So, this game has a lot to do to keep the veterans, the people that have been playing this game for, you know, about a decade, the people that have stuck with it, myself being kind of one of them, interested. That being said, for a new player, you don't have to master this. You don't have to understand all of this. And a lot of this is simpler than it seems. Like, I'm starting here with my character, right, in this big old jungle of a skill tree. And this is just some life and some strength, which strength gives you a bit of life and a bit of melee damage. So if you've played any RPGs, or games even remotely like RPGs, you kind of understand these stats, right? And so as you progress along this tree, some life regen here, life regen there, life regen there, you'll see a theme. A lot of these are small passive upgrades on a big grandiose tree to make you feel like you're progressing a lot and make it kind of exciting. I mean, as people have done this a million times, it's maybe not that exciting. But for a new player, it probably is pretty exciting going through this bad boy, picking up a big upgrade. So, though this may look confusing, and this game is incredibly deep, if you want to dive into it, you do not have to have a PhD to play this game. And it doesn't have to be so complicated if you don't want to master everything. More and more different ways to play and different builds are becoming viable, and you can kind of just play in a way you enjoy. You can play as a character that shoots fireballs. You can play as a character that, you know, freezes the screen. You can look at a guide for someone playing skeletons, and they have a skeleton army, and that looks really fun, and you want to try that, and you can play that character, and you'll probably get pretty far. If you like it, you'll probably play more than playing something more optimally even. And so that's the thing. You don't have to create your own good thing. You don't have to master this game to have a good character. I myself, as someone with 1,600 hours, saw a character that looked really fun. Someone's playing this build called Volatile Dead, and I'm not going to explain that because it's a whole can of worms. But I followed his build. I pretty much cheated on the test. Like, this answer is A, this answer is B, and I kind of just followed along as he instructed me, and picked the upgrades, so like life, and it worked really well. I really enjoy this character. He's a lot of fun, and I didn't make all this work myself. I just kind of am following a screenshot, more or less. And it's been really fun, and it's been very viable, and it's done a lot of content, and I plan to play it some more. So, although there is a lot to dive into and a lot of deepness here, that's really up to you. You can keep it very simple. I'll put some recommended different guides in the description. I'll put the one I followed and some other characters that'll be great and easy to follow along. And one quick aside. This character, although I just did say it was a can of worms to get into, I will move, and I have my hand up here. I'll move with left click, right? I'm moving. This is move. Left click. I dash, so I kind of teleport, blink. With middle mouse, so if I want to get around fast, and then I right click and do damage. And that's all I really do. I have this skill here, which is another button I can press, which is just a debuff. If I need to do more damage to a boss or something, I might use that. And then I have this here, which is a minion. I barely ever summon this. It's just kind of like an optional thing on my build. I don't really do it very much. So I am left clicking to move and right clicking to do damage, put very simply. And I followed a recommendation for this character, so I didn't even do my own skill tree. And it's actually really good. I've really enjoyed it. And the other reason that I really want people to try this is not only that, not only can you simplify the characters and not get too worried about, like, is this super optimal? Am I doing the best thing? What is even happening? You don't have to worry about that. You just kind of play through the game. You can play some build like this, kind of, you know, blow the enemies up. I'll show you guys a bit of that. And you can do more of what you enjoy. Let's say you ran a specific area or whatever. You did this and that was fun. Or you fought this boss and that was really cool. You can just keep focusing on and doing that more. They've buffed the different loots and different mechanics in this game. So it may not be the best thing to do what you enjoy, like the most loot explosion-y thing. It might not be the best end game farming method. But if you enjoy it, chances are it still gives pretty good stuff. And you can just keep doing more of what you enjoy. So I'm playing this guy, I'm running around, my left click. And then I'm attacking with my right click. And that's it. I can even restore my mana with a click on the mana flask there. I don't have to press 5. So you can play like that. You can really simplify. And again, I'm going to recommend a couple things. I'll link them down below. You can simplify it and have it as complicated or as simple as you want. And just play what looks fun. And the moment you finish the story mode, which is kind of like a bigger exposition that they're trying to tell, something that they, you know, people have wanted to skip and get right into endgame, but they're updating and polishing it more over time. There's a lot of dialogue that you don't have to listen to if you don't want to, but there's a very big story they are telling that you're entirely able to skip. You don't have to look, you can click right to these text bubbles just like this. Look at this. Boom. But they are telling a very big story that they want for some people to enjoy if you want to hear it and listen to it. They're telling a very big story, but the moment that you get through it, which you can skip, you get right into pretty much a playground of just kind of doing what you want. There's a lot of options that'll be laid out before you, and I know this will look confusing. The first tree here, this is small upgrades for your character. And let's just put this simply. This is small upgrades to your loot. That's really what this is. This looks very confusing, and they make it really cool, and they add all these animations and graphics and stuff. They show it off, and that's mostly to get the really involved veteran players excited. Because I don't think a new player gets excited by this. However, this is just small upgrades to your loot, and I'll just kind of simply address one, right? This is an essence. An essence is a way to craft items. So let's say you have a sword. You want damage on your sword. You want to add damage to your sword. An essence will re-roll the stats on your sword and make sure one of the stats is, you know, for example, damage. And so as you're playing through the content after the story mode, these are permanent upgrades to everything you do after the story mode. It's really cool, actually. So you can be like, hey, I like damage on my sword. I want to make sure I get damage on my sword or on a future sword that I grab. I want these in every map. And that'll happen. After the end game, or after the story mode in the end game, if you get this node, which you get just by doing content, you just kind of play the game, don't progress, you can add this. And you'll get an essence, which is, again, a way to craft an item every map. And there's a lot of options here. I don't want to go through them all because that will be confusing. I'm trying to tell you guys it's not confusing because you play the game with me. But yeah, you can be like, oh, I like the sound of that. Let's try it. If you didn't know what an essence is, the game also has an in-game help option. I know it's a lot of reading. You don't have to. But if you were confused, you wanted to look it up, not only do they have a bit of an explanation here, they usually have a picture, and they sometimes have videos in-game. So you can have all kinds of different explanation if you want it. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. So you can kind of just play the way you want with the character you want, progress and have fun. And I think there's so many things that people can enjoy. Honestly, I think there's a lot here with this game. There's all different kinds of, these are all just, this is not something you need to like put points into. These are different levels. These are all levels to this game that you can play through, and they kind of change a little bit every time. It's really cool. But yeah, I give a strong recommendation to this game. I really hope more people will try it. I really hope that less people would be confused and put off by how deep and crazy this seems. Again, I recommend some different stuff down below if you want to check out some characters to try to start this game with. It is free to play, 100% free to play on Steam, on PS5, PS4, on Xbox. So I think even soon on mobile. You guys can check out those links down below. Maybe see a couple of ideas that you can try to play this game with. If you're coming back to the game, welcome back. It's a great time to start again. And if you guys want more content like this, you want me to give some more explanations or talk about certain ideas, or like a quick start guide for PoE in 2022 on how to start playing the game and not get overwhelmed, I can do that as well. This is kind of just an invitation, me saying that it's a good time to start playing now. That's my first piece of advice. Make it simple. Do what I did. Follow someone's guide. They've probably put more time into in the guide, like in the character, than you will play. So you can follow along, cheat on the test, and this has been really good. My character's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I'm hoping to do some really crazy bosses and the new stuff that they've added. Two last things. I'm gonna keep this video very short. You can get a loot filter. This game has a lot of items. It's, like I said, it's been being updated for the better part of a year. There's a lot of stuff that drops on the ground, like this little guy here. It's really hard as a new player to know if this is worth anything or if you should even pick it up. And usually what this game looks like is this. Without a loot filter, everything shows up. All these items. And you won't have a lot of space to carry them or to store them. And so, again, linked below. It may seem like a lot, but I promise you, it's really not that complicated. You go to the website, you sign in, and you can enable the loot filter. The link below is a website that filters out a lot of the bad items. As you can see, a lot of them aren't showing. And even when I press the button, because you are allowed to see them, it just hides them to save you time, really. You are allowed to see them. You can see that they're small and they're kind of like grayed out. It's recommending I don't pick those up because they're not worth anything, and they really aren't. It's recommending I pick this up because it's a decent item. It's not guaranteed to be good, but it has a better chance, you know? So that's the second link, or one of the other links down below. The last thing is you can ask questions. I asked earlier, I don't know if actually it would show up. I asked earlier about the new boss. Let's see here. So let's see a good question. So, you can even come into the chat, ask a question. Fireball. Probably is a good skill, actually, to start. I don't think it's bad. And you can just ask. You can ask people in the in-game community on the chat You can ask me. I'll link my stream down below, link my Discord where you can ask me. You can ask all different kinds of people and get all different kinds of information. So if you're confused about something, you can ask, and you'll probably get great clarification. So yeah, that's been a guide. It's been very quick and to the point. Hopefully not confusing. If you guys have anything to ask or add or ask about or whatever, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see, again, a quick start guide or some other different content for PoE, let me know. Look, he even he even messaged me, direct messaged me. Casters are face roll level with, use any. If you're doing melee, follow a guide. Boom! Look at that! Look at it, he reached out to me. This is not scripted, I promise. And you'll get help, right? So I think this is a great game to play. I think now is a perfect time to start. I hope you guys will enjoy. Let me know. I'll see you guys. Check out all the info below. Happy gaming, guys. See you soon. God bless.